Hey, this is Notser, and we're in the Tier 7 Soviet cruiser Shchors. It has 12 152mm guns, 8 torpedoes, 41 AA defense rating, a surface attack of 13.3 kilometers, top speed 35.5 knots, total hull 32,200. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, reduce the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret, traverse, superintendent, and demolition expert. We are on the map Fault Line, and I am backing up the Hatsaharu. My friend Poimain finally has the Hatsaharu. He did not appreciate the Tier 6 Mutsuki, and I don't blame him, because that is probably one of the low points in the Japanese destroyer line. So we'll see how the Hatsaharu works out for him. He's going to try and capture A, and I'm going to try and fire on this enemy York, because he's the first target I see, and of course, steering gets knocked out. So I have to use my damage control. I don't have last stand on my cruisers. It's just something you don't run. Now, this York has a issue with his shell travel time. He has to be closer than he probably would like, so the shells have a better chance of landing on the target without them maneuvering. I'm going to try and exploit this fact by trying to get a broadside. It's something I would really like, and he is showing a lot of his side. And I think he realizes that, hey, this is a little bit too hairy, and he's going to be moving back and forth. But as he retreats, he's going to open himself up to a perfect broadside, and we are going to exploit this with a lot of waterline broadside. And we get 7K, no citadel. He continues to fire. I don't know if he no, he didn't fire on me. Well, that was a huge mistake, because now we're going to free farm 11,000 points of damage, and we're already ready to go. Another shot at the waterline, and we take him out. That worked out pretty well, and we've got a lot of enemy cruisers firing on our position, and an enemy minikaze. He is extremely close. I don't know why he moved this close. I am a light cruiser. I switched to HE, and I'm going to unload on him. I have a huge advantage over this guy. You don't want to get this close to Soviet. Oh, man. 4,300. If we could do one, maybe the fire will help us out. Oh, we miss a little bit. But you don't want to get this close to Soviet cruisers. They are the light cruiser, and he bounces up against the border. They've basically moved that island so far back, it's not in play anymore. And I thought that was interesting. And he disappears. So we're going to continue firing. I don't really want to switch out of HE because I do, yes. Okay, good. He eventually shows back up. We miss on the Myoko. That's okay. That's not our real prize. The real prize... Oh, come on. Get this guy. And obviously I don't want to hit the torpedoes. So I'm going to use the barrier a little bit. And... okay. Fine. Good job, Omaha, I guess. Cleveland is pretty overextended. Poimain's calling out, hey, he's spotting me. He's going after the Omaha. And I'm like, okay. So I switch back to AP. He's showing a perfect broadside. I'd love a citadel. Just a little bit too high in the water. It does do 4,000. I have it from the Alba, who will basically be the primary target, so I can free fire. And that's sort of how you have to see it. If they decide to fire on my ship, then that tells me their intentions are more than just killing the obvious easier target. Possibly they recognize me. That's one thing that happens a lot. But they should go after the Alba, and I should be able to use it to my advantage. That's sort of why you want battleships to be forward of Soviet cruisers, so you can add the DPS. Battleships bring the big alpha damage. We bring the consistent, annoying damage. Obviously, that doesn't happen all the time. Most battleships stay at their max range, not really caring about the team, and I think they should. I like to play my battleship that way, and we get a kill on the enemy Myoko, and what? The game's already over? I was just getting started. We got 2 kills, 2 citadels, first blood. I was so excited. Me and my friend, we were all alive. We could push this flank. We could go into the enemy base. Only had time to really earn 1,262 base XP. We did around 50,000 points of damage in, look at the game time, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay. Just one of those games. I've never seen a game this quick, so that's partially why I wanted to share it. I hope you enjoyed seeing that, but that's not the only game we've got going on. I also recently acquired a ship that many of you Germans might be excited to see. We're in the Tier 10 German cruiser Hindenburg. It has 12 203mm guns, 16 torpedoes, 95 AA defense rating, a surface detect of 12.7 kilometers, top speed 31.5 knots, total hull 51,900. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, rate of fire, reduce the chance of flooded fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, faster turret traverse, superintendent, advanced firing training, and concealment again. We are on the map Mountain Range, and I don't think I have shared a video with me playing on this map yet. Either way, the Hindenburg, the Tier 10 German cruiser. It's just a joy to play. The AP accuracy is fantastic, and hopefully you enjoy this game. That last game, though, a 5-minute match. This isn't World of Tanks. 5 minutes? 5 minutes? I don't know what the enemy team was doing, but they were throwing their ships away. That's all I know. We start out on the western side of the map, and I was going to support the destroyer. Wherever he went, I was going to try and be right behind him, and he went to capture A, which is perfect. I can't tell you how many destroyers I'm sitting there waiting to be their big brother, and all they want to do is hide in the shadows and not go for objectives. It's so annoying. But this one, he did a good job. Now, there's an enemy Yamato and an Iowa, but it's more important to go after the big guns, right? That's a big ship to take out of the match, so I'm going to try and lead him. I felt like he was moving at a relative speed, so I led him accordingly, and apparently he's slowing down. So, complete waste of my first shot. Not going to make that same mistake. And the rate of fire is extremely high. The range, the velocity, this ship is such a pleasure to play. But we landed in a much better position. He's basically slowing to a stop. He's going to be bow on, and he's going to engage all my teammates on the eastern side of the map, and I can fire over an island. I'm not detected. There's nobody within range that can detect me. So this is free broadside damage, and just look at the amount of damage the AP does against the battleship. You can notice where I'm trying to place it. I'm trying to place it between the hull and the superstructure. That's really where you get all the juicy bits, and he's coming to a complete stop now. Any second now, you're going to see the smokestack go in reverse, because I think he's going to be backing up, so we got to compensate by leading him behind. And a lot of times in these videos where you have a clear AP use against a battleship scenario, people question it. Oh, why would you fire AP at a battleship? I have played my games and I learned that AP is ineffective. Well, I'm glad you asked. In a ship like a German cruiser, their HE shell is subpar to say the least. And against a broadside target, AP is always good. You're going to be doing your maximum AP damage, which I think for every single ship, except for maybe a destroyer, and even for a destroyer, the AP shell does more damage than the HE shell. Plus, you have a factor, oh, someone got a citadel on that guy. He's just out in the open, broadside. Plus, you have the factor that whenever you hit a target with HE, there is an initial full damage ratio that will occur. But once you hit that area multiple times with HE, it becomes less effective. Sort of like all of the superstructure, all of the extra bits on the top of the ship, they don't mean anything. Oh man, that was a big shot. Perfect broadside for the battleships that are just northwest of my position, and they could take him out. He really found himself in a bad position. That Yamato had to retreat. Notice the Iowa is still alive. He retreated. He had to just take the broadside from the south side. Yeah, you're going to take 30,000, 40,000, but at least you're alive. You can't allow the enemy team to move a significant amount of battleships into a broadside for your ship. You're going to die. It's very easy to kill a bow-on target that isn't moving. So that's what happened. And that's a tier 10 outside of the match. A huge asset to the enemy team. Since the enemy is dead, my team on the west haven't run into anyone, I'm going to try and head over to sea and support in the destruction of enemy cruisers. Now we see an enemy Atago. It's the tier 8 premium Japanese cruiser. And we get no citadel. I just need to adjust the shot a little bit down, just a hair down. Oh, come on. We're in a perfect broadside. Where are the citadels? And he's moving in a situation, well, okay, 62 is good. He's just moving a little bit too close, and now he's moving away. Now my AA is pretty good. 95 defense rating. There's only 5 more defense rating that I could get, and I believe the Des Moines has that. But for a German cruiser, this is a great ship to be around a battleship, even if you don't have defensive fire. Now, we basically take out the entire attack force of those torpedo bombers. I try to avoid, but the big butt just can't get out of the way, and of course, my propulsion's knocked out. I have to use damage control. I don't have last stand. Now, this enemy cruiser, oh, the battleship got a good side shot. He was a really hard shot for me, so I wasn't going to get as much damage as I was liking. An enemy Baltimore shows up. This cruiser is a much easier shot for me, but he is basically bow on. It's not going to net me any citadels, and I need to be just as cautious. And I'm completely fine just firing my main guns, and I see just how much of an angle I have to meet in order to send my torpedoes, and those, oh, nice. I just destroyed one of his 2 front guns. He only has 2 turrets left, so I'm completely fine allowing all 4 of my turrets firing on him. He has to stay this neutral or he's going to die, and we have torpedoes. The US cruiser is at a disadvantage when they're this close to other cruisers. And I'm trying to kill his gun, actually. That's what I'm aiming for. And we hit it with something. Either it's been incapacitated in some manner, but we are very close to torpedoes. Now, remember, and I didn't really know this was my second game ever in the Hindenburg. It has 2 sets of torpedoes. So the first set was just basically to make him commit to an angle. The next set is going to just devastate him. He can't avoid it. Don't send them both if you have an opportunity. There's very rare instances where all 8 are required to kill the ship. It's much better that you use one set to lock the enemy in place. And ooh, we got a perfect broadside on an Iowa. 8,200 points of damage. And this looks just as good. Oh, 9,500 points of damage. Believe in the AP, my friends. Believe in the AP. If it's a battleship, it doesn't matter. Broadside, superstructure, top of the hull, that's where you want to hit. And you will get a lot of damage. We're basically doing 8,000 points of damage every 8 to 10 seconds. That's an extreme amount of damage. That's the Citadel from a battleship level of damage. And it's consistent. As long as they are willing to show their side, I am willing to fire. It's really that simple, and only our front guns. Notice how neutral we are. You can see his turrets slowly aiming on us, and they fire. We try to minimize the amount of damage we can take. We take 3 shells, and it does about 7,000 points of damage, which isn't bad. I'm very aggressive. Shocking, I know. Wow, Notser, you're aggressive? I didn't know that. I feel like I could take this guy 1v1 because he's making so many mistakes with his side. If he was someone who had much better angling, maybe he was slowing down whenever I would fire, it would be very scary for a cruiser to go up against a battleship. But because he is basically out in the open and vulnerable all the time, that tells me that maybe he's not as comfortable playing the game as I am. Now, his front guns are not in position, only his back gun. I can take advantage of this, and he's turning back into a perfect broadside. Don't do this. Maintain good angling no matter who is firing on you. And yeah, we're going to fire as much as we can. He's probably not going to have access to those 2 front guns before he goes behind this island. And we are doing significant amount of damage. It really is scary Don't do this in a battleship. You need to respect those cruisers. I sometimes do this because I don't respect the damage they can do. And oh no, here comes the damage. Please avoid us. Please avoid us. Wow, only one shell made contact and it basically ricocheted. That nice boing. It's such a joy to hear that. And oh man, we basically have worked this guy down almost by ourselves. Maybe 1 or 2 shells from friendlies have hit on the target, and I send out 1 token torpedo. He's still tracking us really well. His guns are going to be up, and you could just see that placement. That's exactly where you want to hit. Sometimes you can citadel him, but and maybe I'm underestimating my ability to citadel him at this range. You really should focus on hitting an area of the ship that you can guarantee damage, and if he gets into a situation where he's showing bow or stern, then you go for the superstructure still, because the AP is just going to smash into it. But yes, I will admit, my understanding probably is incorrect, or I could get a little bit more damage if, when I'm at, probably 8 kilometer under, I fire at the waterline. So we got 2 kills, 4 torpedoes, devastating strike. We did 2,322 base XP, and I think we're going to see a lot of damage. Oh yeah, 168,000 puts of damage in 12 minutes. The ship racks it up. What can I say? Absolute joy to play. We're going to have more games in it, of course. I hope you enjoyed both. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.